The Alabama Secretary of State, John Merrill, is speaking out against automatic voter registration in his state, and his reasoning is cute. So he says, it cheapens the work of civil rights activists. Just because you turned 18 doesn't give you the right to vote. These people fought, some of them were beaten, some of them were killed because of their desire to ensure that everybody that wanted to had the right to register to vote and participate in the process. I'm not going to embarrass them by allowing someone that's too sorry to get up off their rear end to go register to vote because they think they deserve the right because they turned 18. Automatically voter registration is no different than giving them a trophy because they played on the ball team. Okay, no. The whole idea of giving them a trophy if they lose makes no sense because they lost. The idea of having the right to vote when you turn 18 because it's a right makes sense because it's a right. See, understand, to have to go through a process and get permission, to get a permit, the word permit is derived from permission. So that is the opposite of a right. It negates the idea of a right. So your argument is, well, voting is a privilege and you need permission for it. I need to give you a permit for it. Well, no, then you don't understand what those basic terms mean. If you have a right to vote, well, you have a right to it, and that means there should be no onerous process necessary to go through in order to be able to do it. And let's be clear, lest you think, well, what do you mean? He's just talking about registration. That's not that hard. Quote, Alabama is one of 14 states to enact voting restrictions recently, including voter ID laws. Oh, there we go. For those of you who don't know, voter ID is a way to suppress the vote. Some small percentage of people don't have an ID, so when they show up, it's, oh, okay, even though you're a citizen, even though we know you're a citizen, and you don't have your ID on you, we're just going to reject you, and we're going to suppress the vote that way. I mean, that's the whole purpose of it. There are some Republicans who even have admitted it in moments of honesty where it slipped out, and they're like, oh, shit, I shouldn't have admitted that. One said, like, oh, I think we're going to win this state with the new voter ID law. Oh, shit. Did I say that out loud? So it is an attempt to suppress the vote. But look at this idiot. He's arguing, well, the civil rights workers, they'd want it to be harder for you to vote. What? No, they fought for the right to vote, and now you're adding extra hurdles in the way, and you keep saying, and I can't believe you're this stupid, just because you turned 18 doesn't give you the right to vote. Yes, it does. Of course it does. That's the point. It is a right. So, look, Hillary did this in the primary with Bernie Sanders, where internally her camp was like, yes, whenever there's a closed primary, we do better. So fewer people vote, the better. Yes. That's what they said in the primary. Now they flipped, because now they need turnout to be higher, because if turnout is higher in the general, the Democrat is more likely to win. But now the Republicans are doing what Hillary did in the primary, and the Republicans always do this, because the lower the turnout, the more likely it is Republicans win. The higher the turnout, the more millennials go out. Millennials are overwhelmingly Democratic, and that means the more likely it is the Democrats win. So this is why he's arguing this. He might try to spin it in a million different ways. Well, this is why I say, blah, blah, blah. No. You're doing it because you want to suppress the vote, because you want Republicans to win, to the point where you say stupid things like, what do you think? Voting is a right? You're so kooky.